welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a seriously fascinating and honestly kind of mysterious frontier of human consciousness. We're talking about consciously triggering an out-of-body experience. Now, whether you look at this as a profound spiritual journey or maybe just a highly unusual psychological phenomenon, you can't deny that the accounts from people who actually practice this are incredibly detailed. They're highly structured. So we're going to take a totally objective, super curious look at the exact step-by-step procedures these practitioners use to literally pull this off.
Okay, let's dive right into this. The million-dollar question we're tackling today is, can you actually train your consciousness to leave your physical body? To figure this out, we've synthesized the exact practical methods from multiple dedicated practitioners. These are folks who treat this not as some sort of magic trick, but as a repeatable, step-by-step process. We're going to look closely at the techniques they use to intentionally induce this state, and crucially, what they say you should actually do once you get there.
But first, we need to define our terms, sticking strictly to our sources. An out-of-body experience, or astral projection, is described as that exact moment when human focus and consciousness shift from inside the physical body to outside of it, expanding way beyond our normal physical limitations. Now, it's worth noting here that while mainstream science tends to view this as just a temporary neural disconnect, where brain cells momentarily lose the ability to locate the physical body, the practitioners we're studying view it quite differently. To them, it's a profound expansion of awareness. It's a massive shift from our limited physical avatar to a much, much broader, multidimensional perspective. To understand how this all actually works, we've organized the source material into a chronological flight plan for you. Pre-flight, the launch sequence, breaking gravity, in orbit, and finally, re-entry. Let's take it step by step.
Step 1. Pre-flight preparation. Setting the stage.
Right out of the gate, the sources make it abundantly clear that both your mental state and your physical environment are absolute non-negotiables if you want this procedure to work. Let's look at the mental side of things first. This quote from practitioner Darius Wright absolutely hits the nail on the head regarding a universal theme across all our sources, the absolute necessity of fearlessness. Wright points out a profound realization. Any fear, whether it's fear of the unknown, fear of getting lost, or even fear of death itself, will instantly act like a bungee cord, snapping your consciousness right back into your physical body. Or, worse, it can create terrifying thought forms in your space. So to project successfully, practitioners insist you've got to be totally devoid of fear and intensely excited about the experience. Okay, so once your mind is clear and fearless, you've got to lock down your physical environment. This checklist, compiled from practitioners like Aaron Abke and Christina Lopez, highlights the absolute essentials. First up, pure intention. You literally cannot use this to escape real-life problems or go spy on an ex, which, by the way, they warn violates free will. Next is the incredibly crucial waking back to bed method. Trying to project right when you go to sleep at night, it usually fails because your brain just nosedives into REM sleep. Instead, you need to sleep deeply, wake up 3 to 5 hours later, stay awake for just 10 to 15 minutes, and then go back to bed. This way, your body is exhausted enough to sleep, but your mind has enough juice to stay conscious. You also need to be completely alone, super comfortable, and ideally wearing an eye mask and headphones playing binaural beats. That really helps induce those deep delta and theta brainwaves. Now, what's really interesting here is how practitioner Ryan Cropper kicks off the physical relaxation using a technique called triangle breathing. It's simple. You inhale for 3 seconds, hold for 3, and exhale for 3. You never hold your breath twice in a single cycle, and that's key because it avoids triggering your fight or flight response. By heavily focusing your attention on the tail end of your exhale, you're brilliantly tricking the parasympathetic nervous system into a state of deep relaxation. It literally tells your muscles, hey, we are no longer under acute stress, which completely shuts off any involuntary urges to toss return. Moving on to step 2, the launch sequence, inducing the state. At this point, your body is completely relaxed, and the active induction begins. The ultimate goal here? Keep your mind awake while tricking your physical body into falling deeply asleep. So it all comes down to how you handle what's happening behind your closed eyelids. According to Cropper's theory on brain mechanics, you're going to start seeing an ambient glow, and eventually random images will flash on the screen of your mind. Now, if you see an image of, say, a purple crystal, and your left brain immediately chimes in with, a purple amethyst, you've just triggered an analytical overlay. The left brain tries to fill in the blanks, which instantly collapses that super delicate projection state, turning it into just a normal dream or waking you up completely. Instead, you've got to rely entirely on the right brain. You have to simply observe the images like a monk. No labeling, no judging, just allowing that imagination space to flow freely. And while you're maintaining this totally passive observation, you're simultaneously engaging your senses. Aaron Epke uses this highly tactile visualization method to keep the mind awake. For instance, he imagines a baseball in his hand. He actually feels the smooth leather with his dream hands, rubs his imaginary fingers down the red laces, feels the physical weight of tossing it up and catching it. By vividly heightening these 5 senses in his mind, he's keeping his conscious awareness intensely engaged. It actively tricks the subconscious into shifting right into the projection state, all while the physical body powers down for the night.
Step 3. Breaking gravity. The exit.
All right, this is the moment of peak tension in the procedure. Your body is asleep, your mind is awake, and you're reaching the critical threshold of separation. The number 1 rule here, remain completely calm. As you approach the exit point, you're going to hit a major checkpoint known as hypnagogic sensations. The sources define these as incredibly intense audible and visual phenomena that occur right as consciousness transitions. It is absolutely vital to understand that these bizarre sensations are just signposts. They're basically just green lights confirming that the procedure is actually working.
The sensory descriptions we get from practitioners are incredibly specific here. You might hear someone loudly call your name right next to your bed. But don't panic, it's really just your brain firing off audible memories. You might hear a high-pitched ringing that rapidly amplifies into the deafening roar of a jet engine or a hurricane. You might even feel like your leg or your arm is literally floating up above your head. The sources stress that you aren't actually hearing these sounds with your physical eardrums, and your physical limbs aren't moving an inch. What you're experiencing is the sensation of your energy body preparing to detach. You absolutely must not freak out no matter how loud or intense it gets. Instead, you kind of just have to lean into the noise and focus on it. Then, once that deafening jet engine noise comes to a sudden, complete, and totally silent halt, it's time to exit. Abkari suggests a specific physical action for this transition, known as the barrel roll method. You literally cross your arms across your chest and mentally barrel roll to the side, falling right out of your bed. He reminds practitioners that everything in this moment will feel exactly as real as the physical body, but you don't need to worry about hitting your head on the floor. It's only your energy body taking the tumble. Step 4. In orbit, navigating the out-of-body state. Congratulations, you have successfully separated. So what do these experts say you should actually do now that you've popped out of your physical form? The collective wisdom gives us some pretty fascinating best practices. First off, if you celebrate and get way too excited that you finally did it, boom, your consciousness snaps right back into your body and you wake up. You have to stay incredibly calm and just observe your surroundings. Second, as Christina Lopez suggests, you can actually surrender your destination to your soul, simply asking to be taken wherever you need to go for your highest good. And this brilliantly illustrates just how unique this space is. She advises that instead of flying around like Superman, which apparently can be kind of slow, you should try jumping. By jumping from your bedroom to a cloud and from a cloud to a star, kind of like a frog, you can travel through entire realms in a fraction of a second. Step 5. Re-entry. The safe return. Eventually, every journey has to end, which brings us to the final and highly important integration phase back into the physical world. Your physical avatar has essentially just been left on standby, and slamming back into reality can be pretty jarring. Lopez details a very exact post-travel integration sequence. If you just immediately jump up and go about your day, it can be incredibly disconcerting. Instead, you need to sit perfectly still for at least 10 minutes. Gently stroke your physical skin and deliberately bring your focus back to your physical lungs and your breathing. Next, drink plenty of water, because water acts as a conductor to help ground the intense energy you've just experienced. Finally, immediately pull out a journal and write down absolutely everything you saw and experienced before the memory fades away like a dream. This highly structured step-by-step approach takes something that sounds like pure magic and turns it into a practiced, repeatable discipline. It's a fascinating look at how some individuals are actively trying to map the unseen limits of human consciousness, and it leaves us with a pretty provocative final thought to ponder today. If you possessed this ultimate freedom, if you were completely freed from your physical limitations and could instantly travel absolutely anywhere, what would you seek out? Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration of the out-of-body procedure. Keep questioning, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next explainer.